Oh, students, a very warm wishes to you all, and this is our next online session. In this class, we discuss about what is accounting principles and what are the different kinds of accounting principles and how accounting principles will be used in the business or how accounting principles will affect in the financial statement. All these things we'll discuss in by analyzing each of the principle. Here we have first accounting principle, that is business entity principle. Before moving to what is before moving to the different kinds of accounting principles, first we will see what is accounting principle. Accounting principle means accounting principles are the general rules and guidelines that company must follow when reporting all accounts and financial data. For example, when the company is preparing its financial statement, it has to be prepared as per Companies Act of 2013. That is one of the accounting principle. Next, what is the purpose of accounting principle? Why we need to follow the accounting principle? The main purpose is accounting principle is to communicate economic information in a language that is understandable by all. For example, if US based company has started business in India, then US country will give guidelines to India to prepare its financial statement as per US GAAP, that is United States generally accepted accounting principle. Then the company which is situated in India, which is hosted by US, then they have to prepare the financial statement as per US GAAP. India generally will prepare financial statement as per Indian accounting standards. We see the first principle. First principle is business entity principle. Now it has three points to be noted under this principle. First one is business is considered separate from owner. It says business and the owner is separate. Here business is separate and the owner is separate. Next, owner is one who started business. There should be any kind of personal, there should not be any kind of personal transaction. If there is a personal transaction, it will be recorded as per the business point of view. Even he might be the owner, but the if he transact anything in his business, it will be recorded as per business regulations only. Third, owner is considered as creditor to the extent of his capital contributed. See, one who introduces the capital will be called it as creditor, or he will be called it as lender. The company believes if he lends the money for credit, and it will be recorded under the heading capital. So if the owner is investing in the business, it assume we have to assume he is the creditor who is lending money, and whatever he has invested, it will be recorded under capital, under the heading capital. Money measurement principle. In this principle, the money measurement concept states that a business should only record accounting transaction if it can be expressed in terms of money. This means that a focus of accounting transactions is on quantitative information rather than on qualitative information. See, if the transaction pertains to the money related, then we have to record. If the transaction is not related to money, then we should not record. Example, what are the things we should record is creditors information, investors information, debtors information. All these things comes under money measurement principle. Then what is not comes under money measurement principle are there are few examples. Employee skill level that we can't value with the money. Product durability that also we can't value. Employee working condition, this also we can't value with the money. The efficiency of administrative process, this also we can't value with the money. Next is third, what is accounting period principle? A set of 12 months will be call it as accounting principle. In case of accounting principle, a company has to prepare its financial statement usually at the end of the year. At the end of 12th year, the company have to prepare financial statement. Here we will see what exactly it says. It is not possible to prepare financial statements at the end of the life of the business. Regular intervals, financial statements are necessary to take important decisions and to assess the performance. See, here they were saying when you start the business, when you are closing the business, at that time if you prepare the financial statement, will you get the details? What is revenue? What is expenses you have faced in the business? No, obviously not. Whereas if you prepare financial statement every year, yes, obviously you can predict what what is the income you have gained, what is the expenses you have met. So because to know all these things, to know the income and expenses, you have to follow the accounting period principle. We move on to next principle. Full disclosure principle. All material and significant information to be disclosed. This principle requires that accounting statement should be honestly prepared and disclosed therein. So whatever the accounting information which you are preparing, example it can be ledger, journal, it should be honest and should be disclosed to all the management members. And it will stick to material information only. What is material information? Material information contains proprietor details, creditor details, and investor details. Why they have to disclose all these things? In order to make the financial statement healthy and to build in trust for stakeholders, they have to prepare and they have to disclose the financial statement. The main purpose is the main purpose of this principle is to make convention or to communicate all the material and relevant facts and to showcase their financial position in the market. Next principle is materiality principle. Already I said materiality means the information which is relevant, the information which relates to monetary values. That is called materiality principle. A materiality principle or materiality concept that concerns about relevance of information and the size and nature of transactions that report in the financial statements. It means whatever the information which is prudent, whatever the information which is monetary, those information will be called it as materiality. What is the main objective of materiality principle? We will see. The main objective of materiality principle is to provide guidance for the accountant to prepare the transaction as per monetary values, or to prepare the financial statement by considering only materiality. So why we have to use the materiality principle? The most important thing is to make sure that information using by shareholders and investor is sufficient enough for them in making the correct decision. If you put up all the immateriality information in the financial statement, by looking at that, the shareholders and the investor holders will get bored. They can't understand. If you put only the significant materiality information in the financial statement, it will boost the confidence for them to invest again and again in your company. We move on to next principle, prudence and conservatism principle. See here, the basic rule under prudence and conservatism principle is it will not anticipate profit, whereas it will record only all the possible losses. It means what are all the possible losses? Means the losses which can be occurred in the future. Those comes under possible losses. For example, theft due to uncertainty. All these things are due to mistake caused by the accountant in the financial statement. These are all comes under possible losses. Instead of recording 5,000, if we recorded 500, it is loss for the company. So I'll share one or two examples regarding this. The value of an asset should not be overestimated. Suppose if the value of asset is 5,000 rupees, if they estimated at 7,000, it is loss. By assuming if they record 7,000, it is loss for the company. The actual value is only 5,000. Next, the profit should not be overestimated. If the company assumes in this particular year they were going to earn 20 crores worth of profit, then actually if they gain only 18,000 crores, then it is a loss. So here the company, in this principle, the company will not focus on the profit, whereas they will focus only on the possible losses. What is the loss this year can be incurred, how we can minimize that. All these things will be discussed in this principle. Next principle, under cost concept or historical cost principle, it says whatever the company they have adopted accounting principles in the last financial year, and same has to be continued in the present financial year as well. Suppose I will give this example. Suppose to calculate for the calculation of fixed asset, if the uses depreciation, if the uses straight line method to calculate depreciation in the last year, again in the next year also, in the upcoming year also, or in the current year also, they have to use same straight line method only to calculate depreciation. Why we calculate depreciation? Because of the durability, because of the, if you keep on using the any of the fixed asset, it will loses its quality. So we need to use depreciation. So whatever the depreciation method the company is using in the last year, it should be followed for the current year and has to be followed for the succeeding year as well. So this is historical cost principle. In another way, whatever the principles which company has adopted in the last year, same has to be adopted in the upcoming years as well. Otherwise the financial statement will leads confusion. If we want to avoid confusion, then we have to follow the same principle. Next is matching principle. What is matching principle? It means comparison of revenue and expenses for over a period of time will be call it as matching principle. In this principle, we compare only two things, that is one is revenue and one is expenses. It is necessary to match revenue for the period with the expenses of that period to determine correct profit. How we can determine correct profit? By keeping by keeping two heads, one is revenue, one is expenses. If we calculate both the things, then we can guess what is the correct profit or what is the correct loss we have incurred in particular year. So it basically this principle will help to determine whether we have incurred loss or whether we have incurred profit. How? By keeping two heads, one is revenue and one is expenses. If we deduct revenue minus expenses, then we will get the profit. Next principle, dual aspect principle. See, in accounting process, every transaction has two aspects. One is debit and one is credit. And the amount will be equal at both the side. When you are passing in the journal entry, there will be two transactions. One will be debit and one will be credit. So both debit as well as credit, it contains same figures, same monetary values. So this is dual aspect principle. Means the rule is two. One is debit, one is credit. See, this is very important aspect or very important principle in the history of accountancy. I'll give you example. Dual aspect principle says it records two aspects. That is, how it will record two aspects. If I purchase a book, the cash will be going out and the book is coming to me. Suppose if I sell a book, the book is going out and the cash is coming to me. So we have to record both the transaction. What is purchased, what is what I have sold or what I have purchased, whether the cash I have gained or whether the cash was goes out with me. All basically you have to record two transactions. Students, I hope you have understood this video. If you have any doubt, you can come back and you can ask me. Once again, thank you all.